If you're a diehard Browns fan and love breaking down the game like we do, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss a blitz. Travis Kelce, the legendary tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs, has just ignited a real firestorm in the NFL with comments that nobody expected to hear. During a recent interview, Kelce didn't mince words when talking about Shedeur Sanders, the Cleveland Browns quarterback, and the message was direct, firm, and, for many, completely shocking. Kelce mentioned details that go beyond the field, involving attitude, leadership mentality, and consistency under pressure, crucial elements for any quarterback who wants to leave a lasting mark on the league. The impact of Kelce's words was not only felt among Chiefs fans, but reverberated throughout the NFL, sparking heated discussions on social media, sports programs, and specialized forums. What was most striking was the tone of authority and experience that Kelce used, making it clear that his point of view is not just an opinion, but the result of years of observing and facing the best quarterbacks in the world. Speculation began immediately, with Browns fans divided between defending Sanders and questioning his ability to maintain a high level of performance in the face of such public criticism. Amidst all this, debates arose about how Kelce's stance could influence the NFL's own narrative in the coming months, increasing tension between players, teams, and the media. The euphoria and tension generated by Kelce's comment are palpable both on and off the field. Among sports media corridors, analysts, and insiders, the topic instantly trended, with theories about motivation, veiled rivalry, and even psychological strategies being discussed in detail. Many began to interpret the message as a kind of public challenge to Shedeur, questioning not only his technical skills, but also his leadership ability in decisive moments. The narrative that is forming is complex. Kelce, known for his competitive stance and for raising the standards of any team he faces, seems to have placed additional pressure on the young quarterback, who needs to prove not only his talent on the field, but also his mental resilience in the face of public opinion. Meanwhile, Browns fans have begun to divide into different factions, some defending Sanders at all costs, highlighting his athletic qualities and potential to become an elite leader, and others questioning whether the exaggerated media attention is beginning to hinder his natural development. The atmosphere within the Cleveland Browns, according to behind-the-scenes rumors, is boiling, with coaches, players, and even the administration debating how to handle the repercussions without compromising team morale. What was once just another regular season now transforms into a narrative loaded with psychological tension and veiled rivalries, raising expectations for every play, every pass, and every decision made on and off the field. The timing of Kelce's words also did not go unnoticed. As the season progresses, every public comment about rival quarterbacks becomes fuel for speculation and incessant debate among fans and experts. Some insiders suggest that Kelce might be subtly trying to provoke Sanders, testing his emotional reaction and his ability to handle media and fan pressure simultaneously. Kelce's message is not just an isolated comment, but a strategic move that puts Shedeur at the center of attention and transforms every pass, every decision, and every victory into a topic of national debate. This situation increases the complexity of the narrative, as any mistake made by Sanders is now amplified, analyzed, and compared to the standards that Kelce, as a league veteran, sets. Furthermore, the sports media seems to have found a goldmine in terms of content, with daily programs, podcasts, and columns dedicated to dissecting every nuance of Kelce's commentary. Within the Cleveland Browns, sources indicate that internal pressure has begun to mount, with intense discussions about motivation, mental strategies, and the need to keep Sanders' confidence intact while he faces public criticism from one of the greatest tight ends in history. The repercussions are now not just about talent, but about leadership ability, emotional resilience, and football intelligence, transforming what would otherwise be just a football game into a true public psychological test. Meanwhile, on social media, fans and experts began speculating about possible responses from Sanders and the Cleveland Browns themselves. Comments like Kelce's, loaded with authority and experience, have the power to create a self-fulfilling narrative. Every response, every behind-the-scenes statement, or every performance by Sanders is viewed in light of Kelce's message. There are rumors that Browns coaches are adjusting strategies not only on the field but also off it, seeking to protect the quarterback from external pressures and control the media narrative. Furthermore, it is speculated that this situation could affect future negotiations, trades, and even roster decisions, since the way the team handles public pressure from a rival veteran can influence the internal environment and the league's perception of Sanders' ability to lead the team. More attentive fans have begun analyzing behavioral patterns, performance in critical moments, and even social media interactions, trying to predict how Sanders will react to the challenge posed by Kelce. The feeling that every game and every pass from the Browns quarterback will now be meticulously scrutinized adds an unprecedented layer of tension to the season, raising expectations about how he will handle what some are calling a media trial by fire. The atmosphere behind the scenes suggests that this rivalry is not only sporting but also psychological, with ramifications that could impact the entire NFL narrative in the coming months. Kelce's message also raises questions about the NFL culture regarding young quarterbacks trying to establish themselves on major teams. The public pressure from veterans, the watchful eye of the media, and the intense reaction from fans create an environment where every action and decision of the quarterback is meticulously analyzed. Shedeur Sanders, despite his talent and impressive family lineage, now faces a test that goes beyond athletic abilities. It's about emotional consistency, the ability to absorb criticism, and still excel on the field. The situation becomes even more complex when we consider that comments from established athletes can influence the betting market, advertising contracts, and even the morale of teammates. Rumors indicate that some members of the Browns are concerned about the repercussions of Kelce's message, trying to balance supporting Sanders and not getting directly involved in the controversy. This narrative, which mixes talent, rivalry, and internal team politics, creates a feeling that every play by Sanders will be seen not only as a sporting move, but as a direct response to the veteran rival. The environment that emerges is charged with tension, expectation, and public curiosity, making this phase of the NFL season a true psychological, emotional, and strategic minefield, where every detail is relevant and every reaction is decisive. To complete the picture, Kelce's reaction on social media and in subsequent interviews only fueled the buzz, with fans and experts trying to decipher whether his words had a provocative, mentoring, or critical tone. Sports media, in turn, seized the moment to create a continuous narrative where every action of Sanders is contextualized in light of Kelce's comment. Some analysts argue that such public provocation could serve as extra motivation for the quarterback, while others believe that external pressure could harm his performance. Within the Browns organization, sources indicate that strategic meetings and motivational sessions have begun to be discussed to ensure that Sanders remains focused, confident, and resistant to external distractions. The season, already intense by nature, now carries an extra layer of drama, rivalry, and expectation, transforming each game into an analysis not only of talent, but also of emotional capacity. What might have been a simple press rumor has now become a central narrative of the NFL, with potential impact on the league's perception, Sanders' performance, and even the future trajectory of both athletes. The atmosphere is one of boiling tension and anticipation, leaving fans, analysts, and insiders glued to every move of the Cleveland Browns and Shedeur Sanders, while Travis Kelce watches from the sidelines, seemingly satisfied with the effect caused by his pointed words. Inside the Cleveland Browns organization, the aftermath of Travis Kelce's remarks has seeped into locker room corridors and strategy meetings, creating a tension nobody anticipated so early in the season. Internal sources indicate that veteran players have begun informal gatherings to discuss ways to support Shedeur Sanders, reinforcing his confidence while trying to contain the anxiety triggered by Kelce's public comment. It's evident that every practice now carries an extra layer of pressure, as Sanders is aware he's being watched not only by fans and the media, but by one of the most respected tight ends in NFL history, someone who has faced the league's top quarterbacks and does not hesitate to air criticism when necessary. This internal dynamic sparks continuous debates among coaches, assistants, and mental performance consultants, striving to balance technical preparation with psychological support, recognizing that Sanders' reaction could set the team's tempo on the field. Meanwhile, social media fans theorize on how this provocation might fuel Sanders, pushing him to elevate his performance in high-stakes games. What was once a single opinion has transformed into a case study in pressure, leadership, and a young quarterback's ability to handle direct criticism from a renowned rival, leaving everyone watching, analyzing, and speculating about the unfolding drama. Media pressure has also reached staggering levels, with TV programs, specialized podcasts, and sports columns dedicating hours to dissecting every nuance of Kelce's message. Analysts comment on posture, track record, and potential responses from Shedeur, creating a domino effect of speculation that seems to expand without end. Some insiders suggest Kelce's stance might be a subtle test, evaluating how the young quarterback handles heavy criticism while maintaining peak performance and leadership integrity. This scenario generates a complex atmosphere where every Sanders decision is scrutinized, and each mistake or success is interpreted as a direct response to the veteran rival. Among fans, factions emerge. Some perceive the episode as unfair and excessive, while others argue it's exactly the kind of challenge that turns a good quarterback into a complete, resilient leader. The combination of external pressure, media expectation, and internal tension makes this period a true psychological and emotional stress test, where talent alone does not guarantee stability, and every pass has the potential to fuel a national narrative about rivalry, maturity, and athletic leadership. Enjoying the content so far? Smash that like button and drop your take in the comments. We want to hear what you think about the Browns this season. Behind the scenes, rumors circulate that the Cleveland Browns are considering adjustments not only in play calling, but in Sanders' emotional management. Mental coaching sessions, pressure simulations, and meetings with seasoned veterans are reportedly being used to strengthen the quarterback's ability to respond to public criticism. Meanwhile, the media continues to magnify every gesture and word, interpreting seemingly simple actions as signals of confidence, nervousness, or extra motivation. Some insiders speculate Kelce's posture is a calculated provocation, placing Sanders in an unprecedented situation that turns each game into a public resilience test. The narrative intensifies when considering that Sanders' reaction could influence not just his image, but team morale and the NFL's perception of Cleveland's ability to cultivate young leadership. Passionate fans have created forums, memes, and threads dedicated to the episode, while analysts compare it to historical scenarios involving quarterbacks and veteran rivals. Every detail, from body language to post-game speeches, is analyzed under a microscope, transforming the season into a laboratory of psychological rivalry, leadership, and pressure absorption, where every decision carries amplified significance on and off the field. Simultaneously, speculation grows on how the episode might impact future negotiations, whether contracts, renewals, or player trades. The intense spotlight generated by Kelce's comment places Sanders under immense scrutiny, and Cleveland's front office seems aware that how they handle the situation could affect long-term decisions. Furthermore, the constant pressure to maintain high-level performance amid public critique adds complexity to roster management, demanding a balance between support, discipline, and motivation. Observant fans monitor each pass, practice, and statement, trying to predict whether Sanders is positively responding to the provocation or if mounting tension begins to affect his on-field decisions. The story becomes even richer when considering that the NFL depends on perceptions of emerging stars versus seasoned veterans, and episodes like this can influence sponsor interest, fan engagement, and media attention. Within the locker room, strategic discussions reportedly focus on shielding the quarterback while maintaining team cohesion, all while the rivalry and anticipation grow, transforming each game into an event layered with tension, drama, and analysis, elevating the season to a level of full-blown sports saga that blends athletic and psychological challenges. The psychological rivalry emerging from this episode also sparks debates among experts about the evolution of modern football. Some argue that a veteran's public provocation of a young talent can act as a growth mechanism, challenging the athlete to develop physically, mentally, and emotionally under pressure. Others claim this approach carries risks, potentially undermining confidence and disrupting team dynamics. Meanwhile, Shedeur Sanders remains at the center of the storm, with every move scrutinized, from field posture to interactions with teammates and media responses. Analysts note that situations like this can define not only individual careers, but also the narrative of entire franchises, influencing coaching decisions, executive strategies, and league perception. Among fans, the tension creates a constant buzz, turning every Browns play into fodder for national discussions on leadership, talent, and mental resilience. The result is a season filled with psychological drama, veiled rivalry, and high expectations, where Sanders' actions and Kelce's words resonate far beyond the game, shaping perceptions, narratives, and potential legacies within the NFL. Thanks for riding with us on another Browns Blitz. If you liked the video, share it with a fellow fan, hit subscribe, and ring that bell so you're always part of the Dawg Pound conversation. Go Browns!